I'm Soraya,
I'm Paolo,
and
and
we're
we're
here
here
to
to
get
get your
your
chit
chit
together.
together.
There we go, man. There we go,
We
man. We're
did
in the
it.
building. We are in the building.
Okay, so let's start. I guess this episode's all about we are who we are.
Yeah.
So, who are you, Paolo?
Whoa. Do you know what it is? Yeah. So, to many people, it looks like I just do podcasts.
Okay.
I don't. I do have a full-time job, but yeah, man. I boxing and everything else that comes with it. Media. It's my passion.
Yeah.
And yeah, people look like you. I know what we're gonna get after this. You're on a lot of podcasts. We've been planning this for 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
It has actually been 3 years.
It's been a long time.
3 years. This has been in the conversation.
Yeah.
So you lot, this wasn't an idea that come up yesterday. Yeah.
No, 2025 didn't just suddenly
No, we're not.
bring us together.
Do you know what it is? Do you not think? Do you not think as well? Like, you know how you've got people starting gym memberships in January.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people I see started stuff?
Yeah,
in
no,
January.
100. I think I even told you. I think we were meant to like record before 2025, and I was like, maybe let's wait for the New Year's.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
I
not.
thought maybe everyone like changes their routine. They're gonna like.
Do you believe in that really?
Yeah, I do. I feel like it is.
But why January though?
Because it's the start of the year. It sort of like lets you reflect on everything that's happened, and I feel like it's a chapter closed. Do you get what I mean? I think every year we can look back and say, you have to have timescales in life. Otherwise, your whole life would just blur into one. Do you get
My
what
life's
I mean?
chaotic, so I mean, time scales are not time. Do you know what it is? Because I had a busy end to the year in December. We had a massive, obviously, event with the boxing and stuff like that, and everything else going on, and then all the other stuff that people see that's been in the planning and stuff. I don't feel like I've reset.
Yeah.
I just feel like I've carried on.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
No, I do feel like it's a reset. I feel like when it comes to, because everyone gets time off that time of year. And yeah, like before we used to have like lots of friends. I think now that we're in our 30s, that's why we wanted to do this podcast, because the 30s is a game changer, right? So now that I'm in my 30s, all my friends are like, even if they're not with someone, like they're not in relationships, they just want to be at home.
yeah, do you know what? As I get older, because I got this as well, I know you lot are going to see it. It's a bit grey. Leave me alone. It's hereditary, apparently. A lot of people in my family have got it. I'm running with that. But, look, yeah, 30s is different. I turned 30 in October, innit?
Yeah. So you finally joined the club.
Yeah, man.
I do like the 30s. I'm not going to lie. I think things do get better in life, for sure. Like, it's crazy. If I knew what I knew now as a 30-year-old and I implement that as like a 20-year-old, my life would be so different. And it's crazy because like 30 comes and it's like a switch and you're just like so much more logical, so much more like so much less emotional. And you sort of say to yourself in your 30s, it's not that deep. In your 20s, everything felt like, if this didn't happen, it was, it's the end of the world. If that doesn't happen, in your 30s, it's like, it's actually not that deep. Like, I'm living, I'm breathing, I've got a house, I've got food, I'm good. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt like I got like that from maybe 25 onwards.
Yeah, you're an old soul. You've been like, I mean, that shows it, right?
Wow, we're going there that early, Wow.
Yeah.
No, but I am like, look, at the end of the day, I think so much has happened to me in life that I kind of have an approach where it's like, it just is what it is. Like, do you know what I mean? And I say this in the sense of like, like obviously maybe we could relate, you could relate here as well, but like where I've probably lost a lot of people close to me that are influential in my life growing up. I've still got influential people here. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I've lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think I've it probably makes me look at life differently. I try to enjoy life a bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's not easy. Do you know what I mean? I'm a very stressful soul.
Okay.
So, at the same time, it's easier said than done. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm zenning and yoga. Do you know what I mean? No, it's true though.
No, yeah, I get it.
Because 2025, I'm seeing people I've never seen cross their legs doing yoga. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, big up the men that do yoga. I'm not going to lie. I've seen a lot more men go into that, and I'm proud of them. I think you need it. Like,
yeah, they're doing it for 2 weeks and they're done. I'm not trying to hear it. I need to see you lot who started your yoga and park runs past January, please. Yeah.
The park runs are looking good. If you're single, maybe go on a park run. I can't run, so I can't join them because I'll embarrass myself. But I've seen some videos of like the Dubai park runs and the ones in the UK.
Park runs, yeah? That's
Yeah.
meant. Is that where people are? Is that where people are doing that? I've been in a
Yeah.
relationship for 7 years now, innit? So
Oh, so you're out of the game. You're
I'm
out of the
out.
game.
I'm out.
Yeah. You
But
don't want to be on the other side. Trust me.
because I even, do you know what it is? I even see people I know who are single going through the dating apps and all these things.
We're gonna get onto that. So we're gonna get onto that because
Yeah.
we need a whole episode on, I think, dating in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the pressure more than now than ever. I think the biggest pressure now you see in like in London, maybe England and such, is people buying houses. And that is a big thing. But like I can say myself, for me, I still live at home, innit?
Okay.
But
Yeah.
pay my way and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But I
Yeah.
still live
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
But the cost of living's going up
Yeah.
and everything else, and
Yeah.
it's getting harder and harder. Deposits, you can't just drop a 5 grand
No.
deposit on a
No.
house anymore.
And they're not like 200 grand for a 5 bed anymore. Do you get what I mean? Like now it's actually you need half a mil to a mil to get a property. You need to have a partner. Like trying to do it solo, it's almost impossible. You need it's like the country built where you need two wages. Even like just generally think about it. If you're in your house and you're switching on the light for the living room, whether there's 10 people in there or one, you're gonna switch on that light. Do you get what I mean? So your household like energy bills. If there's two of you paying it, it's so much easier. If there's four of you paying it, it's even better. But you know,
facts.
I just feel like I've got older siblings. So if no one knows, I'm sure a lot of people know because this is what goes viral. I've got 9 brothers and 4 sisters. So I've got 13 siblings, right?
That's a World Cup squad.
It is. We've got
subs.
the subs, we've got the people on the bench, we've got the referees, we've got
manager,
we've got everyone all in one team. And the grandkids, like my dad's grandkids, just say there's 46 of them. So yeah, we're like 2 football teams.
That's mental.
Yeah.
You might even be able to help United out right now because they need it. They need it.
Don't get me started on that because it's a bit controversial. But I've been a United fan for so long, and now because I live in Chelsea as well, I feel like maybe Chelsea's the one.
You can't change teams. You can't. That's not how it works.
I might have to. Do you get what I mean? Because even when I used to be a United fan, people were like, but you're in London, why do you support United? And now that they're 13th,
so now they're struggling, you're gonna leave them, and
now that they're like 14th, and Chelsea's like what, 2nd, 3rd, 4th?
Yeah.
Like
you're leaving, so you're gonna leave your team struggling.
It just is. I told you, I'm making logical choices in life.
Do you know what? Do you know what you remind me of there? Not obviously
not
the
a glory
same.
hunter.
No, 100%, but
No.
not obviously the same. I saw a video, yeah. So there was a woman and a man, yeah, that were married, yeah, and he lost his job, lost everything else. She broke up with him because he lost his job.
Nah.
You are breaking up with United because they are in the mud.
Nah. Do you know what it is? I can okay. Let's relate it back to that because firstly, let me just say I'm a ride or die. I'm the biggest pick me. I'm the ride or die. Like I want to be there supporting you all your way.
What you're saying is the spark has gone with United.
The spark has gone. Oh, no, it hurts. It actually hurts. I don't think I can actually say I support Chelsea, but if I do,
You just said it.
Don't hate me.
You just said it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Thinking about changing. But yeah, man, like literally, that's who we are, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's actually dissect because obviously you said you're stressful, so we need to say who we are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. What was your childhood like?
Do you know what? A good childhood growing up, like with family around, considering like everything I had going on. Like obviously, majority of my childhood, I grew up with my mum, my stepdad, my brothers, stuff like that. You know, it wasn't easy, like in terms of probably on myself because of I probably dealt with things very differently when I was younger, and blamed a lot of other people for things when probably wasn't their fault or out of their control. And like obviously, like people that know me know like my biological dad, I lost when I was 12 years old. I was 10 years old, maybe 9 or 10. So do you know, it's been so long now, it's like forget, because sometimes I even like some years Father's Day, like I remember Father's Day I don't, but as I get older I don't really feel like I spent a lot of my life with him. Like don't get me wrong, I always remember him, but I spent majority of my life with my mum, my stepdad, that sort of thing. So like they're the kind of people I have most memories with, if that makes sense. But nevertheless, like obviously, like so like my dad passed away, but it was due to alcoholism. So like something obviously like this country, that is a problem. I think it actually accounts for. I was looking at a statistic. done by online. We can put the references in as well, so
Yeah.
people can look at them and stuff like that. But I think they accounted for maybe in the UK as of the most up to date statistics that we could get was 2023 that I could find.
Yeah.
So it may have changed, like obviously in the last year, but it was 12% of alcohol deaths in the UK alcohol related. So 12% of the population were deaths.
That's a high number. That's a really high number.
But yeah,
What was the highest? Like, what was the highest cause of?
do you know what I did? So I think probably cancer's up there.
Okay.
From what I've seen. Cancer's one of the highest.
Yeah.
Different, obviously, you've got different strands of cancer. There's so many, so it's not a specific one. Suicide is just below cancer as well.
And more than alcoholism?
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy is they probably link in anyway, because there might be some people that died of suicide, but they were addicted to alcohol.
And you know, you could relate that to drugs and stuff like that, because it all falls into one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm very blunt on the situation. It's a hard one for me because I've never really spoke about it on camera, you know, ever. So do you know what I mean? It was a hard one growing up because when it happened when it was 10, I didn't really understand it. So I probably didn't understand it till I was older. And at the same time, as bad as it sounds, I have vague memories with him, but then also there was a lot of times he wasn't there.
Okay.
So there was a mixture of maybe anger and regret, maybe, and stuff like that. That I think if he was still here and what would have happened to him, it was happening to him today, would I have done anything? Would I have even been speaking to him? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, in terms of my childhood though was good growing up. I have grandparents, my dad and granddad on my mum's side were my second parents. Obviously, my dad passed away maybe a couple of years ago from dementia, and my granddad passed away in 2016 or 2017, if I'm right. I get that right. And that was hard because that was that was difficult as well. So I would say I've lost a lot of people over the years in it, and I think when you tie it into going back to alcohol, it is a massive issue. It definitely has changed my outlook on life. So a lot of people know why I don't drink a lot, and that's why. I'm not saying I don't drink, but I can tell you in the last 10 years, I can count on one hand how many times I've been drunk.
Yeah.
So when people understand why I don't drink, and then we tie into it on my dad's side, he's got brothers and sisters. So one of my uncles is a recovered alcoholic, so he hasn't drunk for 13, 14 years, a long time. And then I don't want to talk about his situation specifically because I haven't asked him.
Yeah.
But I know my other uncle passed away, obviously, which is his other brother, from alcohol.
Okay.
So on my dad's side of my family, and I think my granddad may have used to drink a lot on my dad's side, but I never met my granddad because he passed away before I was born, I think. So and my granddad was from Mozambique. So on my dad's side, I've got a mad mix. When people look at me,
they can't figure
it out. They're like, "Where are you from?" The Middle East, to here, there. Do you know what I mean? But so on my dad's side, I think it comes down to environment.
Yeah.
Because maybe the upbringing and stuff like that. I don't know specifically what upbringing they had, but I know that life or that in Portugal, drinking is a big problem.
Yeah.
As it is in the UK, but drinking's day to day in a thing. I'm talking, people will go to work in the morning and have whiskey with their coffee, or put a little bit of whiskey. Drinking, wine is a normal thing to socially drink. There's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just having a conversation like we're having. I've seen it myself being in households, even in the UK Portuguese households where it's like that. So I would say I was a bit protected from it growing up. My mum's not really a drinker.
Yeah.
And my stepdad doesn't really drink. If anything, he probably works himself to death. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So does my mum. So we didn't grow up seeing that side of things, which maybe protected me a little bit for certain things.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with Europe in general, there is a heavy drinking dependency and I saw her at the World Cup. So I was working out in the World Cup, and
You went to
Qatar.
Was it still prevalent there though? Like,
No, but it was the things that they were saying before, like the media saying, "Oh, they've banned alcohol," and then people were in the comments writing like, "Oh, that's it, I'm not going." And it's just like the fact that alcohol can dictate whether you're going to go to somewhere or not, or you're going to enjoy something or not, is crazy to me. And I think I'm sort of lucky because obviously growing up Muslim, all my friends don't drink, and we will party hard. Like we'll have our little rooms with our music on, and we'll like vibe. Do you get what I mean? And we can enjoy, like, if we want to dance on the table, we can dance on the table because we want to. Like we don't need alcohol to make us want to. And I'm talking about all girls parties. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a vibe. And if you grow up and you can like enjoy yourself without alcohol,
yeah.
you can definitely do that. But this country doesn't allow that.
Do you know what as well? Because I know we're gonna go on to obviously you shortly as well.
Yeah.
But I can tell you one thing now. You'll be surprised me being around people that and having because I'm around a lot of people like that. You'll be surprised the amount of people I know who are not alcoholics but ask them to go on a night out and not drink.
Yeah, like I've got friends that they'll be like, "No, I'm not coming if I'm not drinking," and I'm just like, "But you know, you are like you can be your like you can enjoy it. Do you get what I mean? Like you can enjoy a vibe without having to drink. And if you do feel like you need to drink, I think that's another thing you need to address.
I feel like I have a choice, like in terms of if I have a drink, I'll have a drink because I want to drink. But if I don't want to drink, there's no one on this planet that can force me to have a drink.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you now, like we if you keep asking me the question, we'll end up falling out. Okay. I'm very blunt like that.
Okay.
So like me being that side of things, because of, like I said, what I've gone through. If people understood why I'm against binge drinking and stuff like that, I don't get onto people about it.
No.
And I don't judge anyone for it.
We don't judge.
No, it's true though, isn't it? You watch too much TikTok. You watch too much TikTok.
I'm trying to stay cool. I'm trying to be in with the youngers. Do you get what I mean? Like, otherwise they start calling you auntie and it gets a bit
mental. Do you know what? I'm an uncle now though, man. We're going to that shortly, but. Like I'm saying to you, like I notice it. Like my friends, I've got friends who like social. I've got best friends who go out and like their thing is like watch the football down the pub, and I go with them sometimes.
Yeah.
And their thing on the weekend socially is drinking. They're not got a problem. They're hard working, got their own businesses and stuff like that. Their way to switch off is to go and have a drink in a pub, and that's fine. I'm not judging people for that.
Yeah.
My thing is when you try to put your pressures onto someone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So, at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, when you're out, I think the last thing that you should do is, if someone's not drinking because they're not up to it, I don't feel like people should be putting pressure. And I've seen people do that. People I know do that as well.
Yeah.
And people that, good friends, like, at the end of the day, but people that know me, if I've said no once, don't ask me again.
No, 100%.
Or, when I'm ready, I'll have a drink.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So
yeah, I think with peer pressure and me, I'm like you. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. There's not really a lot of things that I'm like no to. Do you get what I mean? If you tell me let's go abseil off a mountain, I'm like yes, let's do it. But yeah, I'm very much like I do love experiences. I love like looking at different things in life. So I think that's why I was struggling in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because my friend sort of said to me, "Oh, you like," and he said it recently to me. He's like, "So you're basically fake," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Because with different people, you're different, like people." And I'm
do you know how easy it is to do that?
Yeah, but I feel like that's how it should be. Do you get what I mean? Like if I'm with like intellectual people that are like professionals, I'm gonna speak a different way. Do you get what I mean? Like if I'm with like my nephews, I'm gonna speak a certain way. If I'm with my friends that I'm like really close to, I'll act a different way.
Yeah. I guarantee you, and there's no disrespect to your friend, I understand where he's coming from, but I guarantee you he's done the same thing. Because you're telling me that you talk with your friends the same way you go to work and talk with peers. That's one character and another.
Yeah.
So you could argue everyone does it.
But the thing is with him as well, I think with his line of work, he doesn't really have to like engage with people. He doesn't really have to. So I get it for him. And also he's got the privilege of coming from like just say a modern Western background, like his English, right? He's white, so he can be himself. He can go in, dress how he wants. He can act himself.
Fair enough.
He might not share everything with his family, but they might know him in general. But being an Asian girl, growing up in an Asian household, You can't. There's certain restrictions. You can't. I can't just go in and dress like this and act like this and talk like this. There's certain cultural like social norms I have to uphold. And I think unless you're in it, you're not really with it. Do you get what I mean?
Do you feel like there's any, what's the word I'm looking for? Like assumptions made of you when you go to certain places?
Yeah, I definitely do, and I think people often see like the happy-go-lucky side of me. Like they're sort of like, oh, you're so like carefree, or you're so this and you're so that, and I do troll a lot. I joke around a lot. I like to like, because I think it's my escapism, if that makes sense. Because when I go back to my family, I'm like, my family don't see me laugh. They don't see me like just joke around. I'm very like serious and very, I don't know, like it's a complete different persona. And when you have to be that person, that responsible person all the time, I feel like when I meet people, I'm just a bit more like chilled. And they're like, wow, why are you so chilled? And I'm like, because otherwise I'll just go into long term depression. Like, this is my way of like coping. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think there is an assumption that people just think that I'm a bit like, I'm always joking around or playful. And that is me.
Do you think that's a defense mechanism?
I think if I think it's just where I do want to experience certain things in life and I want to like be able to enjoy and have good memories.
Yeah.
It's the way of me making good memories, and people like a lot of my friends have said like when they come out with me they feel so much better because I like to make the most of things. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, maybe, but it's not. I think the people that know the real story and the real me, and maybe I might share it on this, maybe I might not, but um yeah, like it's deep, and the things that I have sort of like risen above, it's a lot. And like you, I lost my dad when I was 21.
Okay.
So, and I was a daddy's girl. Like I was so attached to him.
I
And
think that could be worse than mine. I think
yeah,
yours, because you've grown up with him,
growing up a little bit more, and then
and
he's
you've
taken.
and then he's
Yeah,
taken where, whereas me, I
yeah,
had the defense mechanism of maybe like
not
I still had my mum and stepdad there,
yeah, yeah,
kind of thing. We had
yeah.
a lot of problems growing up, but it
Okay,
happens, man. But
yeah,
yeah, God.
yeah, and like growing up with my dad, and I think we can even come into that because like my dad was a complete different person with his other kids than he was with me. I was number 13 out of 14
How old was your dad
when he had me, or when he
when he
passed.
passed?
He was 84.
Jeez, lived a
Yeah,
good life though.
and like coming back to the addictions, he was a heavy smoker,
Oh
and it
really?
ruined his quality of life. And even though he lived till 84, he had many heart attacks, and I've been there with him, like on my 12th birthday, where he just like I came home from school and I see him coming up the stairs and he's like, call an ambulance. And my dad doesn't speak a word of English. So at 12, like, not 12, like the day before my 12th birthday at 11, I had to call the ambulance and I had to explain, like, oh, my dad's not well. I had to give the address, and they're just like telling me what to do. And as they're telling me what to do and what I have to explain, I'm like processing it. And obviously I'm crying because it's like, it's scary, right? Because you're thinking he's not going to make it. And we got to the ambulance, and I remember them saying, like, tell him we're going to inject him with like aspirin and not to move because if he moves he can have a stroke. So I'm here like crying when my dad's having a heart attack, trying to explain that, and he's like trying to console me, and he's like, don't worry, I'm going to be fine. And then they rushed him to the hospital and took him into like the little resus
Wow.
room. And yeah, just like remembering that, and my family didn't come until a bit later. Do you get what I mean? So I had to like go through that by myself. And I think like losing him was like one of the biggest, not gonna lie, like sorry,
It's all right.
biggest things that's happened.
It's
And
organic convo, man. Do what you want.
and sometimes I sit there and I think like I wish I did have him longer in life, because he didn't get to see me get married. He didn't get to see my daughter. Like if he met my daughter, he would have loved her. My daughter's like my mini dad. Like I'm not gonna lie, like her personality, she's so cheeky and funny like my dad. And my dad, like his other kids got different versions. Like he was very strict, not playful at all. And they weren't that close to him. But because I was so late in his age, he could open up differently with me, and we can have a different relationship. Do you get what I mean? So I think like all my siblings were grieving for him, but in different ways. And a lot of my siblings were in their 50s, 60s. So it was different for them. They had him most of his life. And I think for me, it's more like not having him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go, like, inshallah, I live for another 50, 60 years. I'm going to have to go another 50, 60 years without him. And his anniversary is actually coming up, so it's going to be 10 years on the 19th. And every anniversary, it's like it takes you back to that day, and it's so traumatizing. And And I think other people don't get it. Like, until you lose someone, you don't really, like, they don't get how you're reliving them days, them times. Do you get what I mean?
I think I can agree with you there. I think first of all, you don't need to apologize because like the fact that you can talk about it,
Yeah.
show emotion,
Yeah.
that's something I find hard to do.
Okay.
So like that's a problem I've got.
Yeah.
I can talk
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
talk about my dad, talk
Yeah.
about my nan, talk about my
Yeah.
granddad. I'm not crying on camera,
Yeah.
but I might get upset when I leave, and that's a
Okay.
problem because I can't
Can't show it.
show my emotion.
Yeah.
Maybe from over the years, that's because I've learnt to bottle it up,
Yeah.
and that's really affected like my mental health and stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
massively, which I
Yeah.
take more account for now.
Yeah.
And probably like, do you know what I mean? Because mental health is obviously a big thing that needs a whole obviously.
That needs a whole episode.
But I'm
honestly,
just touching on it.
Yeah.
It's like relating it into what we've experienced. Yeah, that can play a massive part on it because you can feel maybe your lowest when you're feeling the way you're feeling. Do you see where I'm coming from? But it's like even like when my dad like passed, right? Like it was, she'd had dementia. It got worse when my granddad passed away. 'Cause my granddad died first. But because she was looking after him, I think she had it then, but she was keeping him busy all the time. As soon as he went, she lost her reason to, and they reckon that she basically deteriorated very quickly after my granddad died.
Yeah.
So I got to, a lot of people say like their experiences with people with dementia, some could be abusive, some could be like that. My dad was none of that. I think she become like really not, like she'd talk, but you wouldn't be able to understand what she was saying. But she was very polite, very friendly. She wasn't violent at all. It was actually like she'd laugh, like, but you wouldn't know what she was laughing at. And then like as I said, as it got to the last week or two before she passed, I got a phone call at work, and obviously like my mum that was saying that she's not in a good way, so we all went down. I was only planning to go for a day. And can I just say something as well that relates to you? This is where we need to learn to switch off, yeah. And I have to give like a big shout out to my boss on this year at work, because who's also a friend of mine as well, George. And he when this happened, I think the first thing he said to me was like, "What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like go sort everything out.
Yeah.
Cool." So I think it's good as well when you're going through stuff like that, you've got a good support network around you with family and friends, because that helps a lot. If you've got a good support network, it makes it a bit easier. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you, like for you as well, if you've got your family around you, I'm not saying what you've gone through is easy, but it definitely helps.
Yeah, it lessens the load. And because there were so many of us, like when it came to the funeral, my brothers organised certain things, my sisters organised certain things, I just had to organise certain things, and like you definitely feel the burden a lot less. If I had to do it myself, I wouldn't be able to, because I'm still processing. And like one thing about Asian Islamic culture is when someone dies, everyone comes round, everyone brings food. The family that are grieving don't have to worry about food, and it's just like once they do that, you're seeing everyone, and it takes the load off a lot mentally, and you feel a lot more at ease and happy, if that makes sense. And I remember like when my dad did die, because obviously from the age of 12 till the age of 21 he was having repeated heart attacks. I was like, oh my god, I'm losing him now. Like every time I get a phone call, I'm thinking.
Sounds mad, but was that smoke related? Do you think?
No, the smoking didn't help, because obviously it was his heart that gave away. So it's his heart that was having issues.
Okay.
His lungs were, but like he had a bad smoker's cough, but it's just his heart wasn't in a great way. And I think that comes from like the stresses. And I do want to speak about like our parents when they came here, the stresses of like having to work, having to worry about their family back home. Like we don't have to do that. Do you get what I mean? As much. My cousins don't have to call me and say, chase me for money the way my dad will have to give to his family back then. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think the stress of him coming here, feeding his family back home, worrying about his kids, I think that did give way. And it comes back to what you said about mental health. Men don't show it the way women do. Men bottle it up, and your heart is affected by that.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad actually, because it's mad. Like it's hard to explain, but like not saying I haven't broken down in front of people, because I have.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying to you, like it will come on to a point where like I'll be talking and I can't get words out because I'm trying to stop myself from crying.
Yeah.
So like that's how much
Yeah.
I bottle it up.
Yeah.
So I get to a point where I can't.
Yeah.
Then it just, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy? It's like sometimes I sit there and I think I'm good. Like even when I started talking about my dad now, I thought, yeah, I'm good. Like I feel good. I don't. And then it's like it just comes, and I'm just like I can't even hold it back. I'm like not even trying to.
Mm.
But it's like yeah, sometimes. But I guess with men, it's a bit harder for them to show that emotional side, and I do think that's something we need to talk about because maybe that's what's not helping now. I think a lot of men are going through a lot of difficulties and they're not able to share it. And this is where my friends call me a pick me. because where I'll be like so understanding. But and it makes sense. I've got 9 brothers. Do you get what I mean? I've seen them at different ages. I've seen them through different struggles. Do you get like
Do you want to know something mad? Not a lot of people know this, yeah. And I have to give a massive shout out to. We're gonna get him on the podcast soon. I told you about him,
yeah.
Ryan Marzi, who is very very famous on TikTok now. For he does impressions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he, a couple of years, 2 years ago, he set up a WhatsApp group chat called Gents Who Vent. So it's for men, yeah. And somebody I know introduced me to it, basically, and I joined it. And you know, like you can share as much or as little as you want, and you can just talk, or you can just put messages in if you're feeling shit one day, like.
Yeah.
But the group's there to basically just talk because more than likely, you know what I mean. A problem shared is, you know what I mean. So the actual Gents Who Vent is a group for men to talk on WhatsApp. If they go through problems, and there might be other people in the group. I think there is 52 members in the group now.
Wow.
And we talk regularly. Sometimes no one talks for a couple of weeks, but the chat's there.
Okay.
And when we message people, somebody will respond. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everyone, but somebody will respond. Whoever can help, whoever can offer advice, whoever can do what. Do you have links to these services? Can you get this and that? I've been a part of that chat for a year now, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the best things I've done. And do you know what it is? A lot of my friends. The problem is, yeah, with a lot of my friends, yeah, I come from a very banterous type of group of friends who, I'll be honest with you, I find it very hard to go to about things because they're not serious.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, they're not serious, innit? Although they might see this and go like, "Oh, I didn't know, you should have said something."
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. Like a lot, I think with boys, you brush a lot under the carpet.
Definitely.
So like when we're talking about things and like with my friends, there's the line between like basically with our banter, the line between
dark.
over the top, not dark,
dark.
but not dark, but over the top or crossing the line, and banter. There's the boundaries like that.
Yeah.
So like sometimes we might be insulting each other, but we're joking.
Yeah.
But we don't, and they're all. I would say everyone's guilty of this, but like you don't know what people are going through, having a bad day and stuff like that. So I think maybe sometimes you overstep the mark, but then put it down to I'm just bantering as I normally do, but not everyone feels the same every day. Does that make sense?
No, 100%, 100%. And I totally get it because, like I said, I've got 9 brothers, all different walks of life. I've learned so much through their mistakes, even when it comes to like marriage, even when it comes to like businesses, even when it comes to just what they've gone through in life. And I guess that's probably why it's not that I'm a pick me, but I can understand it a bit more. And me and my pick me friends, we went and climbed up a mountain, Ben Nevis, for men's mental health. So like obviously we want men to be able to like get to that point where they can feel vulnerable, especially with their partners. And I think this is why my marriage sort of like broke down. I think where my ex couldn't actually feel like he could be vulnerable, and he felt like he had to bottle things in, and like there's certain things that he would do and I wouldn't know, and I would just be like, why? And he just wouldn't be able to explain, like, you know, he wouldn't want to share with me why. And I think the relationship just starts breaking down. And we grew up in societies where our parents might not have shown that affection. Do you get what I mean? Like that mental rapport, or like trying to get to understand each other and be each other's like mental stability. And I think a lot of men in our generation don't know how to depend on their partner for that mental support, or they feel like they have to be this masculine, you know, alpha male. But it's like, no, you should show your partner your vulnerability. You should like work things through together, and you should like lean on her the same way she leans on you. And it's not this like persona you have to put on all the time, because that's, yeah, you're gonna feel overwhelmed. Look at me, by the way, taking down notes like a therapist.
Look at a teacher,
No,
innit? Proper teacher, man.
honestly. But it's like I'm making notes because I do want to pick up on some things on our next
I've got
episode.
to ask you a question because I know we
Yeah.
haven't got long left, but like talking about everything and like mental health and obviously what we've talked about who we are.
Yeah.
This is big for you because you're back on the pods.
Yeah.
And I know like we're gonna talk about it probably, but I do think it's worth mentioning because this is a big thing for you. You're back in front of the cameras and
yeah. Do you know what?
Are you anxious about it?
A little bit, definitely. I think obviously there's some contents of mine that's gone viral, like the dating show, like, and that was just for banter. I'm not gonna I didn't think it's gonna go viral. I didn't think people were gonna like pick up on it. But I just went on with a friend and she was filming and they just needed an extra girl to fill in. And I was just like, yeah, I don't mind because like I like making jokes. I like trolling. Yeah, that went viral and people like they still stop me till today. Like it's crazy. They still like, oh, I recognize you. I've seen you. And I'm like, what? Like I didn't realize it's that much of a. It's like
Do you know what it is? People see stuff online. Like, do you know what? Since I've started doing the media stuff, yeah, like the amount of people that I thought like so high of now, and I'm working with or doing things with, like working on projects with or doing stuff, that they're just normal people to me.
They are, yeah.
But like to people that know me, that I know that know them,
yeah,
they're kind of like, oh, you know, so and so and stuff like that. But I don't look at them like that.
No,
it's hard to explain. Like, I'll be open about it now. Like, obviously where I've started working with DFC, which is Don's Fight Club, which is linked to SE Dons, which is a YouTube football team that have gone semi-professional now.
Oh, maybe I'll support them.
Yeah, get the top, man. G, set her up. Yeah. G, get her an SE Dons top. I'm gonna let show him that. But George, Donny, Flips, all these guys were in front of them with the cameras and that for years, and I grew up watching their stuff. And then like I said, about 7, 8, 9, 10 months ago, Flips reached out to me and just spoke to me about the boxing. But then I met all these people that Don Strapsy or Donny Jones or whoever, how they even know him. I grew up listening to his music. I used to listen to his music in ICT. I got kicked out of class.
Mad.
Now, like, I talk to him normally, and I said that it's not a fanboy thing, but like these people are people that I grew up kind of looking up to. So now, like, I work with them. It is mad for me. Like that, I'm proud of that. Do you know what I mean?
Can I just say, that's how old we are, because we used to say ICT. I think now they say computer science.
Is it? It's not science, man.
No,
they're just putting. Why do they make it sound posh?
Because it was IT for a while, right?
Yeah.
So it was ICT, then IT, and now I think it's like computer science.
I'm going with ICT, computer science.
But yeah, no, like 100%. And I think even when I did like the BBC stuff, so I did the BBC stuff, but I feel like I wasn't who I wanted to be then, and I took a break because there was lots of things going on in my life, like my personal life, and I felt like I couldn't just come in front of camera and switch that off.
That's hard, you know.
Yeah, and also you've got haters. Do you get what I mean? And it's just like people know, like, and that's one thing that I would tell my younger self, not to share so much with certain people, because I've had like situations where people have gone to like agencies or people I'm working with to try like send stuff, like to make me. The thing is they can't really make me feel like be in a bad light because it's not mad like that. But just say like sharing my personal things that I might have to be dealing with. That's obviously sensitive. And I might not want the whole world to know that. Do you get what I mean? Because it's not something personally that's me doing it, but it might be someone who I know. So I think it was difficult for me to want to come back because I was just like, you know, you see Shadeborough, they're on it. Any little thing, they report it before the news does.
Yeah, but yeah, do you know what it
not
is?
Saying I'm Shadeborough worthy, not yet. Do you get what I mean? But if I was to like blow that big, it people are messy, and I think that's what I needed to like address in my life, and I needed to
Shadeborough needs. Sorry, go on.
No, and I just want to make content that's intentional, that is real, like me. Do you get what I mean? I think what people have seen so far, it's more like that playful side of me and a bit more of like the non-serious Soraya. But now I want to make like intentional content that helps people, because I do think the things I've gone through in life, people might be able to relate to it in a really great depth, and it might help them. I'd love to help the younger generation and guide them and be their auntie that they call me.
Auntie, you know. Yeah, man. Like
But
we
yeah.
go into it, but yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm uncle now, so yeah, we could talk about that on another podcast.
Yeah, that's another thing we need to talk about. But yeah, we're gonna have to wrap up soon.
Yes.
But yeah, go on. What were you gonna say, Shade Bra?
Like, I'll be honest with you, and I just want to end it on this. Yeah, you lot left mainstream media news to go and listen to the outlets of Instagram. Whilst I actually think some of them I actually really like. I like Made You Think.
Yeah,
I like him.
He's personally an amazing person.
He posts some good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of these media outlets, what you've escaped from BBC and these things, you've just gone over to Instagram and it's the same thing.
100%.
Like, don't think that they're doing anything good or bringing you groundbreaking. Like, for me, I'm not saying that these things don't have a place. I think they're all good. What the business they built, sick. But people's perceptions is that I'm going to go on this because this isn't mainstream media. I feel like them places are mainstream media. They're as much mainstream media as BBC and ITV.
Yeah.
They probably get half their sources from there anyway.
But the thing is, like, with I've never been involved in celebrity culture. I don't know like celebrities and who this person is. And
you don't listen to music, but
I don't listen to music.
Mental.
Exactly.
She doesn't listen to music.
I don't know lyrics. I don't know music. I don't know who these people are. But Shade Bra will bring that into my life. Do you get what I mean? And like now I know, you know, what happened with Tommy and Molly May, and I know what's happened with like this person and that person, and it's like a lot of things, you know. If it wasn't for Shade Bra, I wouldn't know. But
it's a news outlet, isn't it? It is. It's a news
yeah.
outlet. It's the same. It's the same as BBC. It's the same as ITV and these. I just need to make that clear because the thing that annoys me is people come on this flex of, I'm going off mainstream and I'm gonna look at my own things, and it's the same thing just on a different platform.
Yeah.
But I respect what they do.
To be fair, I want a whole episode on just like media and what we actually brainwash ourselves with, because I think that's important.
Yeah.
What we do listen to, what we do read. But yeah, it's been a great chat.
Yeah, man.
It's been a great chat. I think there is so much more to us anyway for people, and yeah, when we do talk more or share more, hopefully people can relate and we can help the 30-year-olds get their shit together.
That's it, man. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, man. Get your shit together. Do you know what I mean? You got to say it, man. You got to plug it. Subscribe. Links will be there.
Yeah.
He's down there.
He's the plugger. I find them things so awkward.
You have to say it though.
No, you have
where
to.
do people know where they're going to go to watch it?
I'm glad that you can do that, because I find that it's almost like you're begging, right?
They're not going to flash up. They'll be in the bio. Okay, so yeah. Nah.
We might have to flash up for the first one.
I'll try and find I'll find something. But yeah, so yeah, man.
I've been Soraya.
I've been Paolo,
and we've been here to get your shit together.